For my second collaborative tool for this module, I chose to use StormBoard. This is just a website-based tool. I did some research and I can't seem to find it on the App Store or like a Google Play Store if you have an iPad or a tablet. So this is something, again, like my previous collaborative tool, that you would just use through a website base. So if you are one-to-one with maybe MacBooks or Chromebooks, this is a great tool to use. And it is easy to access through iPad or a tablet if you just type it into Safari or Google Chrome. So in order to use this website, you do have to create an account to use. I had already created an account, so this is my home page. So when you log in, this will come up. And I have a few trial StormBoards that I was testing out a little bit. But before we get started going in through a trial board that I have, I'm going to take you to just my account and show you the plan and pricing. For the most part, this website is free, but if you like this website and you would like to use it for your whole entire class, which is probably about 25 kids or so, you would probably need to pay for it, which is a per month fee, or if you would want to use it maybe for your team of teachers or on a school-wide basis, you would have a bigger fee. I am using it for free right now, and you can add up to 5 users per storm when it is free, and then you can still create as many brainstorm boards as you want. So I think the free would be beneficial, the most for me, partially because I don't feel like I should have to pay for this tool after playing around with it, but also because the way I see myself using it in my classroom is with small groups for our science unit. So as I had mentioned in my previous video for my collaborative tool, I teach math and science, and I think that this brainstorm tool is great for my science experiments that I do with my students. So I would introduce an experiment or something a topic that we're going to maybe further explore through an experiment, and then I would have them just create a StormBoard about different ideas they have, or just their thought process through. I also think it would be a great tool to use just to do the scientific process, have them start off by maybe observing and then creating and then putting their data into the StormBoard. So I can see myself definitely using it in my classroom, but I do use small group lab groups for science. So since you can have up to 5 people collaborate on one StormBoard, I can only really see myself using the free version. So just to kind of get into a little view of what this looks like. Again, this is my home page, and then you can just create a storm or you can already join a storm. So say you have an account and you want to join my StormBoard, you can go right ahead. So I have a trial StormBoard right here, and if you just click into it, it will take a second or two to load and to open. So this is my trial board. Down here at the bottom, you can see these different icons, and then you can really just make your own template. It kind of gets cut off on the screen, so I'm sorry about that. But you can change your storm template. So if you click into that, there is a whole bunch of templates you can choose from, which I really liked about this website. So there's blank ones, there's just typical brainstorming ones, calendars, which I think is really beneficial for the teacher and all of us, just to have an outline calendar, and they have even like a whole bunch of options if you scroll to the side. They have paragraph outlines, they have character maps, compare and contrast, conflict maps. They have KWL charts. They have a whole bunch of templates you can use through this. They even have a word wall one, which I think is really interesting. So if you just want to scroll through, if you like this website and you can try it out, there's a whole bunch that you can use. Problem solving, clarifying the problem. I think these would be great to use for science in an experiment setting. And then they also have other products too for outside the teaching world. So I already just have a board set up, and you can share it down here with this icon. You can share, there's a setup, these is templates, and then you can import information as well. But the way it really works is you can just kind of click on the screen and it comes up with a little box. I'll just move it over so that you can see it better. You can insert a file. So if I use Schoology as a hub, and so I can import stuff from Schoology if I save it to my desktop, and my students can do that as well. Image, video, there's also whiteboard and text. So I can just type on here like science experiment day 1, and I can write down like my observations. So, and then when you're done, you just hit enter and it comes up as a little tab. Another thing that I thought was really awesome about this is you can insert images. And since my students are one-to-one with iPads, I have them take videos and pictures of the experiment along the way, just because if someone is absent, it's a great way for someone to catch up on something they might have missed in the lab day experiment. So the great thing that I thought about this website was you can collaborate at the same time with your students. So I really think that hits the nail on the head with a collaboration tool of the brainstorming that's displayed in the table in the rice text. So you can brainstorm a whole bunch of ideas using concept mapping, think, pair, share. Like I said, KWL charts are even available in here, so you wouldn't even need to create them yourself. You can just use that template. So it's also a shared resource for, in my case, lab groups, but whatever you may want to use it for in your classroom. So if I would type on here again my observations, like saw green sprouts, if we're doing a plant unit. So it comes up again. And the great thing is, and you can connect these two posts. And then you can bend it in any way you want with this little, you can, move it around if you want, spread it out. You can really create kind of a mind map of any way that you choose. So my first note is just observations I've had during my experiment during day one, and then I can just connect it to whole different things that I saw. And then it's only me using this right now, but as I had mentioned before, you can have up to 5 members collaborate on here. So in my science classroom, I can have my students just putting down all their different observations through their iPad or their device, and it will all go onto one board. And then that way, at the end of the day, you can just see all of the stuff that you have. And you can also color coordinate it too, which I think can be really fun, something different for the kids to do. So I can definitely see myself using this in my science classroom, and I'm going to probably start trying to get my students familiar with this tool because I do think it's really beneficial, and there is a lot that you can do. I am cutting it close to the 8-minute mark for how long this this tool tutorial should be, so I'm going to stop. But I do think that this tool is really beneficial for not just a science classroom, but especially a language arts classroom, with the whole different things that you can do for brainstorming, and then kids are just really getting their ideas out there. So I hope that you like this little run through of StormBoard. I really am a fan just from playing around with it for the past few days. So I definitely advise you to check it out. It's a great tool to have in your classroom.